This video contains information on how to raise and butcher meat chickens. If you're a vegetarian or vegan, you're probably not watching. If you eat meat, none of this should bother you because this literally happens to every animal you eat, except someone else is doing the dirty work. If you are squeamish or don't want to watch, or if you want to pretend that none of this happens while you're eating your chicken wings, either way, viewer discretion advised. This is more of an overview video, and I will not show the actual evisceration process. And in the years to come, I will take more footage and be able to share with you a lot more detailed information. If there's something you'd like to see, please leave a comment below, and I'll make sure to do a video on that specific part of this process. I got all my baby chicks from the local Mennonite family on April 23rd, 2020. Baby chicks need to start out at 95 degrees Fahrenheit. And what I do is I put my heat lamps pretty low and I let them self-regulate. If they're cold, they'll huddle up underneath the lamps all together. If they get warm, they move away from the lamps a little bit. It's up to them. But you have to keep it at a high temperature to start with. I started all my chickens at the same time this year. The white ones are the Cornish Cross Meat Chickens. The brown ones are Isa Browns that are my egg layers. I kept all my chicks inside this brooder house area for about 3 weeks until most of the feathers were in. Then I transferred them out to the chicken tractor. Here's a little montage of the chicken tractor coming together. My buddy Casey pretty much did it on his own, and I stood around with an air gun just stapling staples into it here and there. And we had a good day, and it was a lot of fun making this thing. It's a pretty sweet system he designed, with an automatic watering system and a rain gutter feeding trough. It's pretty neat how it was all put together. Even though he did most of it, I was still really proud of making it come true. He was only a couple of fields away, so we just dragged it through the fields all the way over to my place. There they are. 39 Cornish and 32 Isa Browns. Cornish are the meat chickens and the Isa Browns are the egg layers. It's exciting. Alright, so I just hooked up my automatic chicken waterer. I'm in the chicken tractor. And I just put 5 nipples on there, the vertical nipples. And they seem to be working pretty well. I drilled a hole. That one right there looks like it's slightly, could be potentially leaking. And a little drip here or there is not the end of the world. They kind of have to fill in, and I had to prime them a little bit, push the buttons a little bit. So they do work. Chickens come up and push that little, they peck that little silver thing. Water stays on this little lip that sticks out so they can see it. They come over, they peck that, and as they peck it, water comes out. So I hooked it up to a inch and a half PVC, and had a coupler down there, a reducer down there, to a garden hose, going up to just a 5-gallon bucket. And I just have it wired up, hanging here, wired up. Alright, today is the first day we're going to move the chicken tractor. I put the chicks in there 3 days ago and it's starting to get messy in there, so we're going to move it back. At this point, it's pretty much the same thing day in and day out until butcher day. And by doing the same thing every day, it's almost like they got trained. As soon as I pulled up in front of the door with the four-wheeler, they knew fresh grass, insects, and bedding was on its way. It did take a couple of weeks though, but after they got the hang of the routine, moving the tractor was actually pretty easy. After you move the tractor is when you feed them and water them. Otherwise they're never going to move. So I just moved the chicken tractor, all the fresh grass. You can see that's what the grass looked like from yesterday. And you can see all these girls. I just scared them. You see them all starting to peck at the grass, eat all the fresh grass that's underneath.
had one run out yesterday, out the door. She didn't know what to do out there. She turned around and came right back in. Eventually all these brown ones, they'll be all free-range egg layers. And in another 3 weeks or so, all the white ones will be frozen. I can't believe how big they are. They use the water pretty well. Alright, so doing my daily chores with the chickens. This is where they were yesterday. I just moved them to fresh new grass. This is where they were the day before, the day before, the day before, the day before. And as you can see, where they were originally was right down this strip here. And if you look at this grass, compared to this grass, that grass is lush, more lush and green. And that's only from one time having them sit on it. One time. So the amount of fertilizer and nutrients that they're putting back into the land is amazing. And this another week or so, this is another week and a half, this will be looking just like this. Again, you can see that they are coming over towards me already in anticipation of fresh grass and fresh bugs. So all I do is I move it real slow. The ones in the back, they will move up front. Just gotta pull up the slack on this draw line here. And they all move forward. I put my bucket here to tell me when to stop. For the first couple of feet, I can go kind of fast. I gotta wait for the ones in the back to move forward. Let that move a little bit, and then I just keep dragging back.
How amazing is it to think that by giving your chickens fresh grass, insects, dirt, minerals, nature, what nature is intended to eat, by giving that to them daily with a supplement of high protein feed, that they're then leaving their waste to grow better grass, to feed future generations of chicken even better grass, to then feed your family better chicken. It's a symbiotic cycle that is sustainable and amazing.
Tonight is the last night for having all these Cornish Cross chickens. They just started cockle-doodle-doing the other day. These guys are pretty darn massively huge. They look like old men. So they're coming over to me because they're expecting food today. I did not feed them at all today. I wanted their gullets all empty when we butcher tomorrow morning. So they're coming over to me, walking on my feet. They want food, but they're not getting any today. Their food's been empty. I kind of feel bad knowing that all these guys are going to be gone by tomorrow afternoon, but at the same time, that's why I raised them. I got these guys as little tiny things. I could fit 4 of them in the palm of my hand.
I was really amazed how huge these chickens got so fast. I tried to get the Isa Browns to go roost with the other egg layers, but they kept coming back to the tractor. So I know there was a lot of chickens in there, but I just decided I'll let them be, and I started to move the tractor twice a day so they always had fresh grass to lay on. Once butcher day was over, the Isa Browns had nowhere else to go after I shut the door, so they went in and finally roosted with all my other egg layers.
Alright guys, 4th of July 2020, it is butcher day.
Even though I put a disclaimer at the beginning, I don't want to show blood and guts and how this all works in this video. This next season I will do a much more in-depth actual butchering video and show you step by step the details of how to do it. But for this one, I'm going to more or less do a slideshow, kind of a montage. If there's any part of the process you really want me to go in great depth and detail into, please leave a comment below, and I'll make a video just for that. These are what is known as the killing cones. These are metal cones people hang them from their barn, from a post, or here they're from a workhorse. The chicken's head comes out the bottom, the feet stick out the top, and 2 cuts are made, 1 on each side of the throat. Their feet do flail around a bunch while they are bleeding out. It is relatively quick, but you definitely want to keep your face away because you will get a claw to the eye real fast with this. Like I said, it's not easy to take a life no matter what, but it is a very fast bleed out and a quick process. The chicken is then submerged in 145-degree water for about 30 seconds. Swish it around. This process will loosen all the feathers. Make sure it doesn't go over that, otherwise you can start cooking it. Now this thing is something that really shocked me the first time I ever saw it work. I've seen it on other videos, but not in person. This my buddy made, and it works the same as commercially made ones, but it is amazing how fast this thing plucks these chickens for you automatically. It's shocking. I can't describe it. I'll just show you. You turn the water on and it flushes all the feathers out through the bottom of this machine and leaves a pile laying on the ground. Every once in a while there might be a head on the ground as well, but it's all part of the territory. Quick word of caution, bees do love the smell of this stuff. For some reason, bees start coming around, and I got stung on my index finger when I was picking up this pile. It was bad. Like I mentioned before, I'm not going to go into the entire evisceration process in this video. I will make another video this next season coming up to show you all the intricacies that are involved in the complete process. Essentially, once the chicken comes out of the plucker, you pluck any of the last little feathers that didn't come out and hose it all off. You then remove the head and start to take out all the innards. Hose it all down again, and actually there's this little tool that my buddy made that takes the lungs out really quick and easy. Remove the feet and the neck, and then hose it all out again, and you are left with a beautiful, beautiful bird. We did keep the hearts, the gizzards, and the necks. After everything is thoroughly cleaned out and rinsed out, we put them in ice baths overnight. We let them sit for about 24 hours, which allowed rigor mortis to set in and then start to slowly fade, which allowed the muscles to be able to move a little bit more. This allowed us to put them in the shrink bags. Once they fit snugly in this shrink bag, you basically just twist it around, put a zip tie on, and pop a little hole with a knife that allows the air to escape once the hot water starts to shrink the bag around the chicken. Once you don't see any more bubbles coming out, cover the hole with some heavy-duty tape, snip off the end of the zip tie, and you're done. So in the end, we were able to get out of my 36 chickens 293 pounds. The smallest one was 6 pounds, the biggest one was 10.8 pounds, with many of them being over 10 pounds. I definitely would not have been able to do this without the guidance and knowledge of my neighbor and friend Casey. Casey has helped me through this whole entire process and has shared so much. It has been such a rewarding time to spend with him, and I am ever grateful for that. These chickens were raised on my land. They ate from my land. They drank the water from my well. They breathed the air that flowed across my land and gave back nutrients to my land along the way for future generations of chickens to be able to give nutrients and health to my family. To know that your food was treated properly, was raised properly, was not pumped with antibiotics and growth hormones, and living in its own feces, and overcrowded. it just was a very rewarding experience, and I am so looking forward to do it again. I appreciate you watching this video. If there's anything, again, specific that you want to learn more about, please leave that in the comments. I will do a lot more in detail, in-depth videos. I just hope YouTube allows some of the stuff to be shown. To learn where it comes from and how to do it yourself is absolutely rewarding. If you got any knowledge out of this video whatsoever and want to see more, please subscribe, like, leave a comment, and hopefully more people will start to jump on board and live a more sustainable life for us and this earth.